love you to death, and thank you for coming out and supporting me. The mullet could have gone, though. You know, a little frightening, riding around in my Harley in Hollywood, a mullet, you know. No wonder I had to change my life. I started shooting heroin at 16 years old, you know. I guess I could go into all the reasons why, but I think that the most important reason why I started shooting heroin was because, you know, I didn't really have anything to connect to. I had a hole in the pit of my gut. And, you know, I went on about a 15-year life of destruction. Arrested at 17, convicted felon at 19, locked up in numerous treatment centers for about 3 years of my life. You know, it's amazing what happens to one. I feel like I've lived many different lives, you know. And when I think of those times, I think of, you know, this lost person that had really nothing to live for. And, you know, when we talk about families, I must say is that my family really saved my life. And, you know, my family did intervention after intervention on me. And, you know, at the age of 32, I turned my life around because I hit such an emotional bottom. Now, why people hit emotional bottoms? I believe it's because of pain, you know, a tremendous amount of personal pain. And I hit that. And, you know, I spent about 2 years in a treatment center. And I came out of that treatment center and, you know, I tried many different things in my life. And I was sober, but I was still empty. You know, I worked in the entertainment world, in film and music, and I never really connected to that. And, you know, here in LA, I realized one day that the most important time that I ever had when I was clean and sober is when I was working, you know, for this treatment center in New York. And I remember sitting on a stoop with a, you know, 17-year-old kid who wanted to go get loaded. And, you know, he didn't have anything to live for. And I sat with him until he had an emotional breakdown and surrendered. And I'll always remember that moment, that I had an opportunity to be present while he had his moment. He had his shift, where he was able to express his fears and his inadequacies and his insecurities, and to work through that moment instead of going out and shooting dope, you know? And in that moment, I realized something, was that's what it was about. It was about being a part of a miracle in somebody else's life. And I'll always remember that moment because it was that moment through my struggles of, you know, where I fit in this place called life, that I realized it's about giving. It's about helping your fellow man, one man at a time, one woman at a time, you know? And, you know, it's so interesting, 26 years ago, when I went into treatment, my counselor was named Lenny. Lenny helped me tremendously 26 years ago. I loved Lenny, you know, and he you know, helped me turn my life around. A month ago, Lenny called me asking me for help. I was there for him like he was there for me. That's what this thing is about, you know. Whether you belong to a secret society, whether it's an amazing organization like Hollywood Arts that has mentorships and helps people get off the streets. You know, to me, we're all in this together. You know, it's not about self-obsession. It's not about arrogance. It's not about fear. You know, it's about one person helping another and putting your hand out and being able to be there for another human being. That's really where the power of spirituality in life really needs to be, you know? And if we can all get back there like what the Hollywood Arts teaches us and other organizations, I mean, could you imagine the power, you know, that we could all have as a community, you know? And I just want to sort of end by being able to, you know, thank my wife, you know, who, you know, she's put up with my neuroses for about 15 years, you know, and my beautiful son Cooper, who's shaking his head, no, don't mention my name, you know, and my beautiful little daughter Greer, and my little monkey Chase, who's sound asleep, you know. You see, that's what it's about. That right there is what it's about, you know. It's about family, and it's about the person sitting next to you, you know. That's why, thank God, I found a passion to fill my hole. So that way I have a reason to get up in the morning where I feel honor and dignity, you know, as a man. And I have honor and dignity unlike I had